And I have a question for Vladimir Borisovich Pastukov. Why, in your opinion, does the idea of the absolute value of human life never take root in Russia?
Listen, well, because generally speaking, to be honest, if we're being serious about this, the value of human life is unfortunately being devalued on a global scale as we look toward the future. It's a concerning shift. And Russia is simply, as always, ahead of the whole planet in terms of trends. I mean, I can't say that what's happening, for example, in the Middle East, in some place like Yemen or elsewhere, is an illustration of global recognition of the value of human life. The profound value of human life is truly recognized in only a small part of this vast planet, which is commonly referred to as European Western civilization. And even there are these unpleasant moments, like, say, 1933 to 1945, when this value drops to the level of junk stocks. So I wouldn't set them against each other. I'd say this, that Russia, unfortunately, for constantly, periodically, developing cyclically, either moves closer to Europe or moves away from it. Russia itself is a kind of separate part of Europe. So let's not have illusions. To understand that Russia is Europe, you have to look closely at China, put yourself next to it, and ask, are we Chinese or not? Well, we're not Chinese. So for better or worse, we are still Europeans, even if we deny it. But at the same time, it's a kind of different Europe. There's a sense of uniqueness here, different traditions. And it all stems, of course, from this religious split between Latinism and Byzantium. And globally, yes, that is, Russia followed its own different path, in which there was a different religious foundation. In this different religious foundation, the emphasis was on the value of the collective at the expense of the individual. Accordingly, to this, the price of collective survival was always very high, while the price of an individual's survival was significantly lower. So periodically, Russia drew closer to Europe in the understanding that there should be at least some harmony. But these periods were very short. Then it would drift back into its pattern. And again, it was ready in the interests of the collective. And the collective was always represented by the state to sacrifice that individual life. So ultimately, it is without a doubt orthodoxy. So certainly orthodoxy. Orthodoxy's roots lie in Byzantinism. We can't do anything about it except to slowly, long, and persistently fight, work on it. Another thing is that there are many shades of gray. That, you see, this value of life was one in 1937, another in 1953, a third in 1977, and a completely different one in 1985. And although in all these cases, frankly speaking, this value of life was significantly lower than in Europe, for us, simple peasants, it's not all the same in which period we live and what the quantitative indicators are. So now, unfortunately, we have found ourselves from the point of view of the value of life again somewhere between 1917 and 1937. You see, we are moving in this direction. Therefore, to make Russia, Europe, well, in the exact sense, of course, is unrealistic, but to rise at least to 1978, well, that's quite possible. Let's hope that this will be achieved.